Our first BT13 case tournament, and we got our first place. Jordan.
Yeah.
What you playing?
I played Alphamon, the new Alphamon, so I guess it's a deck profile.
Yeah. Alright, let's see your deck.
Alright, so for my level 3s, I play 11. So I play 3 Ryudamon. Honestly, this card, like the reason why originally I played 4, but I played 3 because it feels bad to play it in raising, but it's really good as a search. It makes the deck much more consistent. Some people only play 2, but I think 3 is fine, honestly, because I used to always play 12 level 3s, but 11 is actually a good balance. So I play, of course, 4 Dorumon. You have to play 4 Dorumon. It's non-negotiable. There's a lot of times during when I evolve my Doragreymon or into Alphamon, I use the Doragray's Inherit to always gain a memory, and that actually helps a lot, especially if I want it to be my turn still. This helps a crap ton. And then, of course, you have to play 4 Tsunarizumon. It really helps with your OTK because it's security type +1. Honestly, without it, some people play 2 to 3, which I don't know why, but this is just too good to miss. Too good to miss. Yeah. And then for my level 4s, I play 10 level 4s. I play, of course, we'll start with this Doragumon. It's a BT13 Doragumon. Like, it's a vanilla, but some people play only 3 or 2. But I think it's good sometimes because if you happen to brick and don't have your level 3s, 4 cost level 4 is pretty good, honestly. And the inheritable, of course, is +100. Always good, always good. And then I only play 2 of these. But honestly, it does come in clutch sometimes because it gains blocker if you have another Digimon on the field. So that's pretty good. So far, 2 is fine, in my opinion. If you want to play 3, go ahead, but 2 is fine for me so far. And of course, you have to play, this is non-negotiable, you have to play 4 of the decks of Rugomon. Yes, I'm getting the pre-release soon. I need to max rarity this deck, but this is too good. I don't think I have to explain why. Blocker retaliation, and you gain memory. Too good, too good. Sometimes you have to evolve it on raising for 3, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And the level 5s, I play only 7. No, actually, hold on. Yeah, 7. Originally, I wanted to play 8, but 7 is fine. So we played the new BT13 Doragreymon. This card really makes this deck way more consistent, even though it's when Digivolving effect is you have to look at the top 3. Sometimes you just get an Oriyamon. It feels really good to do that. And not to mention, sometimes I have to admit, I always miss its end of turn effect, which is you have to, once per turn or end of turn, you can put a any card that's X antibody from your hand down there. And that, like I mentioned earlier, is really good. For example, when you have this card save you, go to 1 memory, use this card again, like slip it under if it's in your hand, and you gain 1 memory back. So that's really good. It comes up quite often, surprisingly. So this one, always 4. Always 4. And then you play 2 of the decks, Darukamon. I actually originally played 3 of these, but then 2 is fine. 2 is way balanced in my opinion, because sometimes if I play 3, it bricks, and then it feels bad to evolve this in raising for 4. That's way too much for a level 5. So that's good. It's good to go against, I guess, aggro decks because it destroys level 4 or lower. So it does come up sometimes. So good card, good card. And then, of course, last but not least, the limited Doragreymon from BT7. Of course, you need to play this. It's security type +1, and the fact that if you do Digivolve it in the battle area, it can't be destroyed by effects for the turn, and it can't be DP reduced. Too good. Hope it comes back to 4 though, which honestly won't happen. It will not happen. Actually, let's go with the level 6s. So first, I actually only play 1 of the original Alphamon. Yeah. I consider playing 2, but now I only play 1 because for the most part, my matchups today especially, they all have some form of removal, and all this does, even though it only costs 3, it de-digivolves. That's great. So it's very good against certain matchups like Machine Dramon, which I didn't play today. I know there's a Machine Dramon player today, but this is good. Like, just pray that you draw this card for certain matchups, but more often than not, you always have to play. Hold on, you have to play the new Alphamon. So this Alphamon, too good. Originally, I just want to do two of these, and two of these. But the more I think about it, I'll just play 3 of these. It's just way too good in its own right. Like, it's very hard to remove this card because it has not only the on play when digivolving. If you put a card under it, if it's X antibody, your opponent can attack players that's 10 or above, 10 cost or above, which is so good, especially if they have a big stack down. Like, you can see they have a big stack, and they're going to move it up next turn. They know they can't do anything against it, so sometimes they might even just play passive and just not move it up just because it's Alphamon. And then not to mention, you need to play at least 2, or like in order to remove this card, you need to either attack it directly, and this is only possible if it's like suspended. Because if it's unsuspended, this came up once today when I went up against a the Alphamon deck, because it has raid, but then we found out that you can't attack it with raid because you can't attack security, therefore raid cannot activate. So it's really good. The only time you can actually remove it is either through security, if the DP is higher in the security, or if I'm suspended and you have a bigger monster, which usually doesn't happen, especially when you have this on Digivolution effect. Yeah, so
busted.
I need more of this.
Busted.
Very busted, yeah. And of course, the final level 6s is 3 Oryumon. This card is always good. Some people play 4. I think 3 is fine because 3 is fine. For the most part, I find that I'm able to slip it under my Alphamon, which can make an attack twice in one turn. But sometimes I have no choice but to evolve it rather than using Alphamon if I don't have it. And it's actually really good because its effect is, everyone always forgets its effect. Everyone remembers the new BT13, but no one remembers what this does. So what it does is when digivolving, if you place, you may place a antibody card from your hand under it, and then when you do, you can delete a level 7, a play cost 7 or lower. That's great, like especially if your opponent preemptively moves up to level 5. I had that happen once. I think against the Mirage Galgamon deck. Yeah, that's what happened. It's a really good card if you want to remove something, but it also has a protection. Unlike the the BT9 Alphamon, because that's actually the only level 6, now that I think about it, doesn't have protection. This one does, because its effect is if you do place a card under it, it can't be destroyed until the end of your opponent's turn, plus 2000 DP. That part everyone forgets. They're like, oh, I can delete it. No, you can't because of this. And not to mention, if you pair it with the Dora Greymon, this essentially means, like, if it's inherent, it won't be. You can't destroy it by effects infinitely. As long as you have an X antibody in your hand, it'll always gain the plus 2000 DP and can't be destroyed. So that's a really, really good combo.
Yeah.
So that's it for my level 6s. Yeah. And then I think, of course, level 7 finally is the Alphamon Oryuken. Some people play 2, but I feel like 3 is fine. I'm still thinking about it, but most deck lists play 3, so I think 3 is fine. I still haven't found a reason to cut it down to 2 yet. Maybe if I have an option card, a tech card, that might replace one, but so far 3 is balanced in my opinion, and of course it does what it does. It's notorious for it. When digivolving, you can bleed the highest cost in your opponent's board, and then end of turn you can gain as much memories as you can, as long as you have like a lot in your stack. So yeah, please self-explanatory, but it actually doesn't have protection unless if you have let's say if you evolve it on top of the Oryumon, because it can't be destroyed, it carries on to it. That's the only way if it can't be destroyed. If you evolve on top of BT13, it won't work. So that's a decent combo that I've been using sometimes, but the only problem, if you evolve on top of, say, the Oryumon, hold on, where's the Oryumon? Oh, it's right here. The problem is, that's not Oryumon. This one is that it will cost 7, which is a lot, but for the most part, honestly, you can afford 7 because of how broken this deck is. It's a really long stack, so you can afford it.
Yeah. Now,
and then go.
Move to the tamer and options.
Yes, we're going into options and tamers. So we're gonna first talk about the tamers. So I've always wondered, what's the right ratio for tamers? A lot of people play Cool Boy, some play 3, some play 4. I will always tell them to play 4. It's non-disputable because it's too good for what it does. Like even back then, when BT9 came out, all the decks that have X antibody used it, and for good reason. 2 costs, searches, and then whenever you evolve at the same level and it's X antibody, gain 1, draw 1. Too good, too good. And it also feels good when your opponent attacks your security and then
you
cool
just
comes
play
out.
for free. Yeah.
Yeah, play for free,
Yeah.
and then you reveal,
Yeah.
you search. It's too
Pretty
good.
busted.
4, always.
Yeah.
Some people actually play more than 1 for this, but honestly, the more I play this deck, I realize it's playing 1 is fine. Some people play 3, some people play 2, but I can't bring myself to play more than 1 because it feels good if you play this card early. But then when the match goes on, you don't really find a reason to play this later, or it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Honestly, unless if you go crazy with Oryuken and then you gain like what 6+, 7+ memory and you can afford this, go for it. But I'm also going to explain reasons why there are better options, because my options usually cover that. So this is good. Basically what it does is if you move up a X antibody monster, you gain 1, draw 1. So it's very similar to Cool Boy, but the only difference is when you attack with your X antibody monster, you can put a card from your hand under it. So it's great if you have another Orymon, so you can get an additional attack. So this is good. 1 is good so far, but you can play 2 if you want. And then finally, we're going to talk about the options. Yeah. So I play 1 X antibody. Some people don't play it at all, or some people play maybe like 2. 3 is too much. 1, in my opinion, is fine. It actually came up once or twice during this this run, because sometimes if I want to rush, especially if I want to play Alphamon as soon as possible and this card's in my hand, I will always play it, especially if my level 5 is already in the board, so I can just attack and then play my Alphamon. That's BT13, and usually they can't really deal much against it, but I usually wouldn't do that if I already know they already have a, what do you call it? Actually, even if they have a big monster in raising, they still can attack it, especially if its play costs 10 or more. I think the only scenario I can think of which I would refrain from evolving really quickly into Alphamon with X antibody is if they have a Greymon, because their level 5 X antibody can boost their DP really, really fast and high. So maybe that's the only scenario, but other than that, I'll always do that if I need to rush. Good card. You can play 2 or more, but in my opinion, 1 is fine. Okay, and then 3 Black Memory Boost. This card is amazing. That's all I can say about it. I know there's going to be a Black Memory Boost version that's going to come out in the next set. That's going to be search 2 cards, and then the next card Digivolve will be decreased by 2. But honestly, this is great because of the delay effect. Like, I know that the upcoming one is good, but I feel like I won't be playing it. I feel like the deck is consistent enough as it is. I have like at least, let me think, 7 level 3s that searches. I have this card that searches cards, and the delay effect really helps me evolve efficiently to level 5 and to level 6 if needed. So, great card. Originally, I want to play 4, but I think 3 is fine. I kind of put the 4th Black Memory Boost into an option, so you'll see what the options are later. Okay, so I'm gonna save the best for last. So I play only 1 Final Zubagon Punch. This card is really good for OTK. So especially if you want to end the game, you can just swing, and then if you have Orymon, you can stand again and then attack. It's just really good. You also gain blocker. This card can also be used defensively because you gain reboot and blocker. So if you attack, if you attack again and it's suspended, you can just reboot it next turn and it has blocker. Excellent card. I did consider playing 1 additional one, but so far 1 is honestly, it's fine. It's fine. And honestly, last but not least, this card. Congo is honestly the MVP of this deck. Like, originally I didn't play this card because I always thought, oh, it's just a tech card for, Shine, because Shine Greymon right now is like top tier. It's great because it prevents Marcus from being added to security, I think, because I actually haven't played Shine before, or against Shine. But I heard it's really good against it, that's why I played it. But more often than not, this card came up so many times today, especially against my last match against Jimmy. He was playing, I think, Rush Control, because he always had Eismon up, and it's a level 4. And I'm so glad I had this card because I stopped him from attacking and stalled so I can just keep drawing my Alphamon. Because my third round was super nerve-wracking because I didn't have the cards I needed. I only have level 3s in my hand and Alphamon or Yuken. So I just stalled for like the next 3 rounds just to search. And this card came up. And that's how it got me the game. Like Congo stalling for 2 turns because I had 2 Congos, I think. And then I was able to raise my Alphamon and have the perfect second and win. So yeah, I think that's it. Actually, I haven't.
What's your egg?
Yes,
What
I have
is
to
your
show my
egg?
egg. So I mean, the egg is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's just the Doraemons.
Yeah.
Some people run the new one, but the new one's pretty bad. I'll be honest. So just before for consistency, draw 1. It's great.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, congratulations on your win and good luck on your future event.
Thank
All right,
you
thank
so
you, thank you.
much. Thank you.